chariot is a cross canvas, it stops right down the block. Now the old piano.
How many times do I have to tell you, don't wash your hands in the sink when the dishes are in it?
Make me a cup of tea there. I have to go to town.
Do you want toast?
Is there no soda bread there?
No, but if you're going into town, you can get some. Well, do you want toast?
I suppose I'll have to do. Are you going to sit there all day? There's fertiliser to be spread in the bottom field. Did you ring that vet this morning?
No. I told Marie to do it before she came home from work this morning.
I told you last night to ring that vet first thing in the morning. That heifer's leg is getting worse.
Look, I'll ring him now, okay?
Don't bother. You're only wasting money on phone calls. If you told Marie to do it, let her do it.
What are you going into town for anyway?
That's my business.
Our business. We're married, in case you forgot. So whatever business you have in town, I have a right to know. This is the 4th time in the last 2 weeks that you've had to go into town. So there's something up. What is it?
I told you. It's nothing to do with you. Will you get off your backside? That manure won't spread itself, you know. Did you put the charger on the tractor battery last night?
No, thought you were doing it.
I told you yesterday evening to charge up that tractor for the morning. Must I do everything myself? Start it off the Jeep, but don't run down the battery on that. I need that to go to town shortly.
That stupid Jeep. Why can't we get a car? We're the only ones going to mass in a battered old Jeep.
We don't need a car. Nothing wrong with that Jeep.
Everyone was talking about us.
Let him talk. Talk is cheap. Cars cost money.
I could sleep on a bed of nails after the night I've had.
Did you ring that vet?
What vet? You never asked me to ring the vet.
No, I didn't. But Joe did.
Joe never asked me to ring anyone.
Well, he said that he told you yesterday evening, before you went to work, to ring the vet in the morning before you left the hospital.
Well, he didn't tell me. That fellow is always trying to get other people blamed for his mistakes.
Just like his father. It's always everyone else that's wrong.
Women. Bloody useless. Couldn't depend on ye for anything.
Do you want me to ring the vet now?
Don't bother. I'll call into him there when I'm in town later.
What's he going to town for?
I don't know. He's up to something. This is the 4th time in the last 2 weeks he's gone into town in the middle of the week.
Maybe he has another woman.
If he has, she's welcomed him. Will I put on a fry for you?
No, I'm too tired to eat a fry. Just tea and toast will be fine.
A busy night?
Busy is not the word for it. 20 patients on trolleys and 2 nurses out sick.
I take it you didn't tell himself yet?
About moving in with Tom? No, I'm waiting for the right moment.
I don't think there's a right moment with your father. It would be better to tell him yourself before someone else does. Are you working tonight?
No, off for the next 2 days. Then I am back on the day shift again. So I was hoping that I could have most of my stuff moved into the apartment by then. When are you coming to see it with me?
After you've broken the news to himself. You know what he's like. I would get the blame for encouraging you, and then we'd both be in the doghouse. I'll have no one to turn to when you're gone. It'll be just Joe, myself and him. Oh God, I don't think I can put up with him for much longer. 27 years of hardship. If I had poisoned the article after the first few years of marriage, I'd be a free woman by now.
You must have loved him at some stage. You married him.
God help me, I did. Married him, I mean. I don't think I ever loved him.
Why did you marry him?
27 years ago. Sure, I didn't know any better. I was young, stupid and pregnant. And it seemed the only solution at the time. Oh, you know the old saying, act in haste and repent in leisure.
You married him because you were expecting me.
No, not just because of you, but because I was stupid enough to think that security and a roof over my head was more important than happiness. And because of the other thing.
What other thing?
Oh, afraid of what people might say. And you know what I've learned since? Oh, other people don't give a damn about you. They'll talk about you either way, so you should do what you want with your life and let off the begrudgers.
It's not too late to make a change. You're only 46.
46? Going on 90. I'm like Elvis. I'm caught in a trap.
What do you mean, caught in a trap.
Your father, the great Fintan Flynn, holds all the purse strings. The farm is in his name. The bank account is in his name. I've no access to any money. No. I tell a lie. I persuaded him to open a credit union account a few years ago. It's in both our names. It's meant to be a savings account for a dream holiday, a cruise.
A cruise? We are getting fancy.
Fancy, how are you? Do you know the last holiday we had together was our honeymoon? 1 week in Ballybunion.
What romance!
Romance? It rained the whole week. That should have been a warning of what was to come. But there you are. Which of us heeds warnings?
I can't imagine Dad on a cruise. Can't you just see him now, walking around the deck of the ship in a pair of Wellingtons? And of course, his cap on.
Well, he can come or stay. There's 5,000 in that account and I'm booking the cruise whether he's coming or not. I've saved up every penny I could earn from the turkeys at Christmas, the egg money, and I have the few bob I get from cleaning the school, and nothing or no one is going to stop me from having my dream holiday.
If he won't go, can I come instead?
Do you know, that would be really lovely. Just imagine the two of us on a big cruise ship surrounded by wealthy millionaires and they tripping over each other trying to please us.
We can always dream, ma'am.
Well, that's all I've left. You've the whole life ahead of you. So make sure you're making the right decisions, right for you, and that will make you happy.
Is there a clean shirt there?
Wednesday? And you're looking for a clean shirt? What's the world coming to?
Cut out your nonsense. Is there a clean shirt there or not?
Hey, Dad, the tractor won't start and the battery in the Jeep's now flat.
Of the love on our God. Can you do nothing right? You haven't hands on you to wipe your butt.
It's not my fault the tractor won't start. Needs a new battery. We won't buy one. Now how's that my fault?
What did I ask you to do?
You told me to start the tractor off the Jeep.
Yes, and what did you do?
That's what I did. But the battery on the tractor's so dead, the battery on the Jeep won't start it.
I bet you anything you didn't start that Jeep before you tried jumping the tractor off it.
You never said start the Jeep first.
Jesus Christ, I did. Anyway, are you that thick that you wouldn't have realised that you would have had to start the Jeep to keep the charge up while you were jump-starting the tractor off it? I suppose the Jeep won't start now either.
No, but that's not my fault. If you bought a new battery for the tractor, none of this would have happened. And you never said to start the Jeep first.
Sure, a dog with a mallet up his butt would know what to do, but not you. Marie, I'll take your car to town.
OK, Dad. I'm off to bed anyway. Will you be back before 4? I need the car then.
It's only 9 o'clock in the morning. Of course I'll be back. What do you think I'll be doing in town for 7 hours? I'm not a woman, you know.
What are you doing in town? Now that's what I'd like to know.
I told you, it's none of your business. Now where's that shirt? Joe, gather up the plastic around the silage pit and make a heap of it over near the log shed. And when you have that finished, tidy up the hay barn. Put all the old bales of hay on the left-hand side. Now, do you think you can do that without doing any more damage? Or flattening your own battery?
Here's your shirt.
There's the keys for you.
Leave them there on the table. I'll get them there when I'm changed.
Well, whatever changing he's going to do, it won't be for the better. Joe, do you know what's taking your father into town?
I've no idea. Do you honestly think Dad's going to confide in me?
Well, you are his right-hand man and heir to the throne.
Right-hand slave, if you ask me. And for heir to the throne is concerned, this place would be like a millstone around my neck.
Well, this place will be all yours someday. Now, isn't that something to look forward to?
You must be joking. In the first place, by the time he hands it over to me, I'll be 60. And in the second place, I don't want to be a farmer.
What do you want to be when you grow up, if you don't want to be a farmer?
None of your business, that's what I want to be. And shut up with your grown up.
Well, let's see. You gave 2 years in college studying computer programming. Then you decided you didn't like that. You then gave another year doing food science, and you didn't like that. Then you took a year out to help on the farm, and now you're saying you don't like that either. I think it's time you made up your mind and stopped fluting around.
I'm not fluting around. I know what I want to do, and it definitely ain't farming.
What about the farming course that we booked you into? You're supposed to be starting that in September.
Well, I won't be going.
Have you told your father that?
No, Not yet.
Who's slaving? Can't be you anyway, Joe. You haven't learned how to work yet, not to mention slave. That silage wrap won't tidy itself upon itself, you know.
Okay, I'm going.
Standing around gossiping like an old woman. You're turning into a right old sissy. Get out there and don't come back in again until all them jobs are finished. Or maybe you need your mother to hold your hand, huh?
No, I don't. I can manage. Leave me alone.
Will the two of you ever stop fighting with each other? There's no peace in this house.
If you don't like it, you can always leave. The door is always open. There's no one forcing you to stay.
Well, that's exactly what I will do.
Good. It'll be one less mouth to feed.
The cheek of you. I pay my own way, and have done so ever since I qualified and started working.
Yeah, and who supported you before that?
Before that, I was going to college. And don't you ever forget that I paid all my own college fees by working every weekend and all through the holidays in the Park Hotel. And any bit of spare time I had after that, I helped around the farm.
If I was to add up every penny we spent on rearing you since the day you were born, it'd come to some pile of money. It would take you years to pay it back.
Everything is about money with you. Did you ever do anything for love?
Love? No such thing. Love is for fairy tales. I never saw love putting dinner on the table or a roof over anyone's head. Land and money, that's all that matters. You'll be well to remember that too.
There isn't an ounce of softness in you, is there?
Softness is a sign of weakness. And where there's weakness, someone will take advantage. The world is a hard place to live in, and if you want to survive, you have to be every bit as hard.
Well, where's all this hardness got you, Dad?
Oh, it's not where I am now that matters. It's where I'm going to be in the next few years that counts. Where are them keys? I'll be late if I don't get going.
Don't upset yourself over him. He's not worth it.
Was he always this cold and hard, Mum?
Now, there's a question I keep asking myself every day. I can't say I remember any softness in him. At least not since we got married.
What did you see in him to agree to marry him in the first place? Now, I know you said you were expecting me, but even to get pregnant by him, there must have been some bit of love between you.
Oh, that's all in the past, and best left in the past. Hadn't you be better getting yourself off to bed, or you won't get any bit of sleep?
Okay, ma'am. Will you call me around 3 if I don't wake up?
Is that the sound of a car? Oh, don't tell me your father is back. If he's forgotten something, it'll be my fault. And there'll be another one of his outbursts.
No, it's not him, it's Pat the post. Good night. I mean good morning, ma'am.
Hello, the house. Good morning, Esther. Just a couple of bills this morning.
Oh, bills. That's all we seem to get these days. What happened to you, Pat? You're limping.
Don't talk to me, Esther. I was outside yesterday evening kicking a ball with the nephew, Peter. You know, my sister Bridie's young lad. And whatever way I drew a kick on the ball, didn't I miss it? And I heard the crack in the back of my leg. Lord save us, Esther. The pain that followed would knock a horse.
And did you go to the doctor?
Indeed I didn't. Sure, it's probably only a sprain. And sure, we all know doctors can do nothing with sprain.
Sit down and take the weight off while you're here.
Thanks, Esther. I may as well sit while I'm standing. Is Marie around by any chance? She's a topping nurse, that girl. She might have a look at it for me.
She's just gone up to bed. She was on nights. I'll see if she's still awake.
Do. But if she's asleep now, don't go waking her. I can come back this way later on. Lord save us. I feel as if I was kicked in the leg by a bullock.
She'll be out in a minute. You were lucky. She was just getting into bed.
Well, I know she was probably here as I met himself driving her car on the road as I came up.
Oh, yes, he had to go into town, but for what? I don't know, as he wouldn't tell me.
Into town of a Wednesday? On a secret mission? I don't know now if I can throw any light on the subject, but only last week I saw him coming out of Maguire's the auctioneers. Are he thinking of selling a bit of land by any chance?
If we were himself, I'd be the last to know. Auctioneers? He's up to something anyway.
Land is making a good few bob these days.
You know, 'Twould be great if he'd only sell off a site or two and we wouldn't have to scrimp and scrape all the time. What would be a whole lot better if he'd sell the whole bloody lot. But I suppose that's too much to expect. He'll never part with the Flynn farm. I'll give him that. But you know the saying, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Except in Finton's case, it makes him a mean, miserable, bitter man.
Hello, Pat. What is it that's wrong with you?
God, Maria, you're a great girl to get out your bed to help me.
It's no trouble, Pat. I wasn't asleep. Now, what's the matter?
It's my leg. I was outside kicking the ball with my nephew. Well, I drew a big lash on the ball. Missed it. And that's when I heard the crack in the back of my leg. Oh, followed by a shot of pain that would knock a horse.
Oh, sounds to me like you might have pulled a tendon.
Pulled a tendon? Haha, it's a long time since I pulled anything, Marie.
Let me have a look at it.
Is there anything you can do for me? I can hardly walk on it at all.
I'm fairly sure it's a torn or snapped tendon. You will need to get a physio on that, Pat. And the sooner the better. I'll put a bandage on it for now.
Physio? Who's good at that around here?
Well, I think that Peter Blake is as good as you can get. He does all the physio for the local GAA teams.
I'll call him today. Is there anything you could give me for now to ease the pain and help me get around a bit easier?
I can give you a couple of Difing capsules. They will help with the pain and the inflammation. And if you could wear a high heel on the foot, it would help.
What? A high heel?
Yep. Tilting the foot forward takes the pressure off the affected area. Have you any shoes at home that have a higher heel than the ones you're wearing now?
Well, I've an old pair that I didn't wear in years. Sure, it's worth a try. I'll go back to the house and I'll get them.
I'll get the Difing for you.
Will I get you a cup of tea, Pat?
God, Esther, I thought you'd never ask. Oh, I could mother a cup of tea. And anyway, I can't take a tablet of any description without something to drink.
Here's the Difing for you. Take one now and the other one this evening.
Here's your tea, Pat.
Thanks, Esther. God, I'm after just thinking. I won't be able to walk the greyhounds this evening. Is young Joe around? He might do me a favour.
Joe isn't a great one for doing favours, but there's no harm in asking him.
I'll get Joe for you. Joe! Joe!
I know. I'd say he'll walk the dogs for me, no problem. Sure, I have a way with young lads like Joe.
You must be the only one. I'm going back to bed. Good luck with that leg, Pat.
Thanks, Marie, for all your help.
What do you want, Pat?
Good morning. Would be a nice start.
I'm awfully busy. The father has heaps of jobs for me to finish before he gets back from town.
Right so. I'll cut to the chase. I'm after hurting my leg, and I won't be able to walk the greyhounds this evening.
So?
So? I was wondering if you'd be good enough to walk them for me.
I can't. I'm too busy. Anyway, I don't like greyhounds.
I'll give you a few bob.
How few?
Well, €5. So, okay?
€5? You must be joking, not a hope.
Do you know where I was last Saturday night, Joe?
No, and I don't care.
I was in the hotel, and didn't I meet my nephew? That's an assistant manager there. And while we were chatting, didn't I see you ducking into the kitchen? So I asked Cecil, that's my nephew, did she know what you were doing going into the kitchen of the hotel? And wasn't I amazed with the answer I got?
Cecil's your nephew. What did he tell you?
Well now, Joe, it's not what he told me that counts. It's what you haven't told your father and mother. That's the matter, I think.
Look, I'll tell him in my own time, Pat. Just don't say anything.
Well, now, if you were to walk them dogs of mine for a few evenings until I get better, I don't suppose I could say anything.
That's blackmail.
No, Joe. That's enterprise.
Fine. I'll walk the dogs for you.
I think there's something getting into the hen run and breaking some of the eggs. Joe, will you check the mesh wire to see if there's a break in it?
Okay, I'll check it later.
I'll see you later, Joe. I must be off. It's going to take me longer today to finish my rounds.
Is he going to walk the greyhounds? pounds for you, Pat.
Oh, yes. He's only too delighted to do it for me.
Oh, there's going to be a change in the weather if Joe's delighted to do anything.
It's my chara, mister. You might say I've a way of delivering a message. It comes from being a postwoman, I suppose. I'd better be off, so. Thanks for the tea, Esther.
God bless, Pat. Take it easy on the leg. Are you going to tell me what you're doing in town?
I told you, it's none of your business.
You were seen coming out of the auctioneer's office one day last week.
Have you someone spied on me now?
No. I wouldn't waste my time or anyone else's either, for that matter. Pat the post saw you.
Pat the gossip, more like it. She'd be better off minding her own business and sticking to delivering the letters like she's paid to do.
Well, what were you doing at the auctioneer's?
My business.
If it concerns this farm, it's also my business. Don't forget this farm is mine as well.
The farm is my farm, the Flynn farm. It has been for generations. How or when did you come to buy it?
27 years ago when we got married, I became part owner of this farm.
Rubbish. What you didn't buy and didn't pay for can never be yours.
Oh, I bought and paid for my share, all right. 27 years of free labour. That adds up to a whole lot of money.
You must be joking. A bit of housework and a few jobs around the farm. That counts for nothing. Didn't you get free bed and board? You're entitled to nothing. My father left me this farm, and it's my responsibility. Mine, not yours, or anyone else's. Do you hear me?
Your responsibility? If 'twasn't for the accident, the farm would be left to your brother Will. Oh, what would your responsibility have been then, I wonder?
Don't go there, Esther. Don't you dare mention his name to me. He never understood the word responsibility. To him, life was just one big party. One big joke. And look where it got him.
At least he was fun to be with. I know he went a bit off the rails, but that was 27 years ago. Can't you forgive and forget?
There's some things that can't be forgiven, and some that definitely can't be forgotten. Now get out now and feed the calves.
I finished spreading the fertiliser.
What do you want? A medal?
Is it tay fresh?
I doubt it. The gate going into the bog field needs fixing. Bring it up to the shed and I'll put a spot of weld on it when I get back. I don't want the heifers breaking in there and destroying it after all the trouble I went to reclaiming it.
There's something I want to talk to you about.
Well, it'll have to wait. I've these papers to attend to before I go to town. When you're finished with that tea, go down and bring up that gate, and then check the fence on the top field before the cows are let out there. What hour of the day is this to be getting up at?
Good morning would be nice. But then again, when did nice and you ever get on?
Don't you be cheeky with me, girl. What the hell are you doing coming into the kitchen in your night clothes?
What's wrong with that?
It's not right. Bedclothes are for wearing in bed, not for prancing around in the kitchen in.
Well, I'll have you know that some women even go shopping in their pyjamas.
What? That's disgusting. Are they just too damn lazy to get dressed? Or are they just wanting to make a show of themselves?
I don't know. You'll have to ask them.
I couldn't be bothered. But let me tell you, don't you ever let me see you prancing around in pyjamas either in here or out of your bedroom again. Now get out of here and put some clothes on yourself.
I'll get dressed when I've had my breakfast. Look, dressing gown, pyjamas. Should I have more clothes on now than I would have if I was going out?
That's just a dirty, rotten, lazy habit. And that's all it is. Going around in your bedclothes. Are you working today?
No, off until Saturday.
It's a great job you have. Where were you last night? Out gallivanting with that long-haired layabout you hang around with?
His name is Tom, and he is not a layabout. He works, you know. Of course, you don't consider what he does work, isn't that it?
What does he call himself? A DJ? Playing records in pubs. Sure, that's not a job for a grown man.
There's no use explaining anything to you. But let me tell you, Tom is one of the best DJs in Munster, and he is really busy with weddings, clubs and parties. He's out nearly every night of the week.
He's out every night all right, like an old tomcat. Tom is the right name for him, no doubt. When you're finished supping that tea, get that gate up. I'll fix it when I get back.
He is still living in the last century, if you could call what he does living.
What are you up to anyway?
What do you mean?
I saw you last night packing boxes into your car. Are you moving out?
Yes, I'm moving into an apartment in town.
Is Tom moving with you?
Yes, but don't breathe a word of it to Dad.
Jesus, he'll blow a fuse. Living together and you're not married. It's a mortal sin. What will the neighbours say? There's no way a daughter of mine is living with any man until she's married, and that's that.
You have him off to tea. That's exactly what he'll say. But let him. I'll have all the rest of my stuff moved today.
When are you going to tell him?
Tomorrow, when I've all my stuff gone and he can throw whatever hissy fit he likes.
Yeah, you'll be gone and Mam and I will have to listen to him giving out for the rest of the week.
I don't know how she puts up with him.
That's love, I suppose.
No way. That's not love. There's no love between them. At least I've never seen it.
Then why does she stay with him?
Dependency. He has made her dependent on him for everything. Money, a roof over her head, and up to now some form of security for her children. I worry about what will happen to her when we're all gone. I won't be coming home to sleep anymore, and you'll be away Monday to Friday come September.
Oh, I'm going sooner than that, Marie.
What? Where are you going?
I'm not saying, but I'll be gone lock, stock and barrel by the end of June.
Come on, Joe. You can't say something like that and then not tell me the whole story.
No, I'm saying no more. I've made my mind up. I know what I want to do with my life and has nothing to do with this farm or any farm for that matter.
Come on, Joe. I told you my secret. Now, tell me yours.
Nope, that's it. We must go and get that gate up before himself comes back.
Wait up. Listen. Has this anything to do with Pat the post nephew Cecil that works in the Park Hotel?
What? What do you mean?
Well, Tom said that you and Cecil were meeting each other at the hotel a lot lately.
Tom should mind his own business.
Joe, Tom was only worried about you.
Worried about me? Why?
Well, you know that Cecil is gay, don't you?
So what if he is?
It's just that if you need to talk to someone, you can always confide in me. I understand.
Confide in you about what?
Whatever is troubling you. Like, if you were thinking of coming out?
Coming out? What? You think I'm gay? That's not why I'm meeting Cecil.
Well, it's one explanation. And if that is the case, Joe, it's no problem. Not with me or Tom or indeed Mam. But Dad, now that's another matter.
Listen, Marie, I'm not gay. Look, I'll tell you. I want to be a chef. And Cecil is giving me a job in the hotel as a trainee chef. He's also putting me forward to some courses in college.
Talk about getting the wrong end of the stick. And you're sure that's what you want to do?
Yeah. I've been helping out working in the kitchen in the hotels on Saturday nights for the last few weeks. And I love it. So yeah, I want to be a chef.
Well, fair play to Cecil for helping you. He is one nice man. Tom says he's sound to deal with.
Ah, he is, Marie. Just don't say a word to Dad. I'll tell him myself when I get a chance. Look, I better get going and do them jobs, or I won't be alive to do anything.
Joe, you won't forget my greyhounds this evening. Hello, the house. Oh, there you are, Marie. Nurse Nightingale herself.
How are you today, Pat?
Much better, Marie. With the tablets you gave me. The bit of physio that I got from Peter Blake. God, he's a strapping lad. And the advice you gave me about the high heels. I'm only walking on air compared to yesterday.
You need to keep up the physio, but don't take any more of the tablets. They're very hard on the stomach.
You're right there, Marie. I had a burning sensation in the stomach after the tablets, all right. And I had another burning sensation elsewhere after the physio with Peter, if you know what I mean.
Stop, Pat. Too much information.
Oh, listen, here's your purse. Do you know what's in it?
No, Pat. But I get the impression that you do.
A letter from America for your father. I would say now it's from Uncle Willem. And that's the second one in the last 6 months. And the one 6 months ago was the first one in, I would say, over 20 years.
Hello, Pat. How's the leg?
Hanging in there.
More bills, I suppose.
Or there, if you pardon the pun. As I was saying to Maria, there's a letter from America.
What?
Ma'am, are you okay? What's the matter?
Oh, my God. Oh, God, Marie. The last letter we had from America was from Willen, and it was bad news. He'd been diagnosed with a bad form of cancer, and the outlook wasn't good. Oh, this letter could mean that he's dead or dying, and I'll never see him again. No, show it here. Look, it's addressed to himself.
Sure, maybe it is that he's after making a miraculous recovery. Will I open it and read it out for you, Esther?
We'll have to wait until he comes back from town.
Surely he wouldn't mind if you opened it.
Mind? He'd go ballistic. No, it'll have to wait until he comes home, and that is that.
All right, ma'am. Calm down. Stop worrying. As Pat said, it might be good news. Were you and Uncle William close, ma'am?
Close? Sure, weren't they going out together for a year or so? Before the accident? And he clearing off to America?
Pat, that's enough about Will. We don't talk about him under this roof.
You can say that again. I think that's only the second time I heard any mention of my Uncle William in my whole life.
Will left a trail of destruction after him when he left. Your father and I had to pick up the pieces, and that's all I'm saying on the matter. So leave it. Any news, Pat?
News, is it? Sure. If there was himself, I'd be the last person to have it. Did you hear that Packy O'Brien left the wife?
Well, I knew they weren't getting on that well, but he's after leaving her, is he?
Aye. Ran off with a young one, half his age. A Polish lassie.
What? Packy? Who works in the co-op?
The very man. They say the two of them, himself and the Polish one, are after moving into one of Bill Whelan's flats in town.
Packy O'Brien? He must be 60 if he's a day.
62. And the Polish one is supposed to be only 30. You might know her. She works in Tesco's. She's a black-haired girl. Long hair down her back.
I can't say as I do, but God, Packy O'Brien running off with a girl half his age. God, that's gas. There's hope for you yet, ma'am. You might get a young toy boy for yourself.
Listen, girl. I have my fill of men. It's nourishment I want now, not punishment.
I must get changed. I have to go into town.
Meeting Tom, are we?
Yes, Pat. With him working most nights, the only time we can meet now is during the day.
God bless all here. Here if it isn't Pat the post taking a break. Esther, could I trouble you for a glass of water? My tongue is stuck to the roof of my mouth. I won't ask for anything stronger, for I know only too well that any form of intoxicating drink is not allowed under the roof of this house.
Water is no problem, Paddy. Here, sit down and take the weight off your feet.
You keeping well, Paddy?
Yes, Pat, I'm keeping well. I can get up every morning, take the top off an egg and potter around for the day. Since God knows, I don't have a whole lot else to do. Thanks, Esther. Anything strange?
Tell him about the letter from America, Esther.
Yes, Pat just brought it.
The last letter wasn't good news, if I remember.
No, it didn't look good.
Well, maybe this one is bringing good news. I mean, there's better treatment for cancer these days, and America is more advanced than we're here.
How long is he gone, Willem, to America? Sorry, Paddy, I shouldn't be bringing that up again.
It's all right, Pat. It'll be 27 years in September. The 3rd of September, 27 years ago, our lives changed forever. Alice, she would be 48 in July if she was alive today.
Young lads and motorcars, it's hard to put a wise head on young shoulders.
Would you like a cup of tea, Paddy?
Go on then. If we're making one, I'll have a cup.
And what about yourself, Pat?
Oh God, no thanks, sister. I'd better be off, or I'll get the sack. That's a good one now for a postwoman. Get the sack.
Good luck, Pat.
She's one gas woman.
She's all that, and there's no harm in her.
No, and she'd be the first to do you a good turn. I'll say that for her. Now sit up to the table for your tea. There's a few slices of cake there for you. I know you're partial to the bit of sweet cake.
Thanks, Esther. I'll have a slice of cake, so I shouldn't, but I will.
Himself shouldn't be too much longer. I wish I knew what's taking him into town.
What do you mean?
Well, he's in and out of town these past few weeks. Once, if not twice a week. And Pat the post said she saw him going into Maguire's the auctioneers one day a couple of weeks ago. And when I asked him, he told me to mind my own business.
I have a fair idea what your Finton is up to.
Oh, yes, Paddy. What is it?
Do you know the bit of land I have with the river running through it?
Yes, just down below our bottom field.
Well, I'm after putting it up for sale with Maguire's by private treaty.
Are you selling the whole lot? 16 acres?
Yes, Esther. I'm running through the farm. Having drank the rest of the farm, you might say I'm liquidating the last of my assets.
You don't think Finton's trying to buy it, do you, Paddy?
Sure, why else would he be going into Maguire's for? Unless he's selling a bit of land himself. And I don't think that's very likely to happen to you.
No. Finton won't sell any bit of Flint land no matter how bad things get. But where would he get the money to buy your place?
Same place anyone would. The bank.
No. The bank would hardly give him a loan. He's up to his ears paying back on that milking parlour and all the work he did draining the bog. That piece of land of yours is worth a tidy bit of money.
Now, Esther, to tell you the truth, I don't know. I left it in the hands of the auctioneers. I put my reserve price on it, and the highest bidder above that will get it. Then all that remains to be seen is how long it'll take me to drink it.
Oh, you'll kill yourself, Paddy. The drink'll be the end of you.
Well, as long as my life runs out before the money does, the drink will have done its job.
I suppose I'd be wasting my time trying to persuade you to give it up.
Correct and right, Esther. Sure, it's the only thing I have left. Is that a car pulling in?
Oh, there's probably Finton back from town.
I'll be off so and leave you to it.
No, Paddy, stay. He might tell more of what's in the letter if you were here.
Surely he'll let you read it yourself.
You must be joking. Finton keeps me as much in the dark as he possibly can. All he told me about the last letter was that Will had cancer, and then he put the letter in his jacket, and I never saw it again.
Paddy, did you bring up that gate yet?
Well, Finton, how are you keeping these days?
Well, did he?
Yes, he did. It's in the shed. Do you want tea?
If it's made, I'll have a quick cup. I have an awful lot to do today.
There's a letter for you.
Where?
It's on the dresser. It must be from Will.
Will. William is his name to everyone else except you, of course.
Will you open it and see if he's all right?
Still carrying a torch for him, huh?
Don't be ridiculous. It's just after his last letter and he getting cancer. Well, he might be dying.
Or I might be good news. He might be on the mend.
You call that good news? I call it good news if he was dead. Now that'd be good news.
It's a terrible thing to say about your brother.
I thought you'd think the same about him after it was him that killed your daughter.
It was a long time ago, and technically it was an accident.
Are you going to open that letter?
I will in my own time.
Can't you open it now? Why must you be always so stubborn?
I said I'll open it in my own time. Anyway, there won't be anything in that letter that concerns you. William has forgotten all about you. You were ever only a bit of amusement for him when he was here.
Oh, you're one horrible article. Open that letter now, or I'll split you.
Esther, no.
Yes, Paddy. I've put up with this man's moods, tempers and ignorance for long enough. Now listen here, Fintan Flynn. You open that letter and tell me if Will is okay or not. That's all I want to know. Now open it, or I'll hit you. I swear to God I will.
Okay, I'll open the bloody letter.
Well?
Damn you, William. Damn you to hell and back.
The state of this place. Oh, it's impossible to make it presentable. Oh, Will, why did you have to inflict this upon us? An American solicitor. What's he going to think of us?
Hi, ma'am. Are you talking to yourself?
Anne-Marie, great to see you. Yes, I am talking to myself. But then again, I don't have anyone to talk to these days. How are you keeping? Do you want a cup of tea?
I'm fine, ma'am. Look, don't bother with the tea for the minute. Tell me, what's this big meeting about?
Oh, sit down, love, and I'll try to tell you. But I'm nearly as much in the dark as you are. You remember that letter from your Uncle Will that came last week? Well, whatever was in it made your father furious. He stormed out of the house that day and left Uncle Paddy and myself standing there like two fools with our mouths open. He gave the next 2 days without saying as much as a word to anyone. Any time I asked about the letter, he went into a violent rage and stormed out. All your father would tell me about it was that Will was still alive but hadn't much longer left to live. And that's all he told me. No more. And I don't know, there was much more in that letter.
Speaking of Dad, is he around?
No, he's gone down to Uncle Paddy's.
Good. I don't want another row with him. You would think I was the first and only girl to move in with a boyfriend without being married. Do you know that he told me never darken the door of this house again until I stopped living in sin?
Did he go that far? I didn't know. That's your father anyway, his way or no way.
Ma'am, look, forget Dad. Tell me, what's this big meeting about today?
Yesterday, he announced that there was a solicitor or a lawyer or whatever they call him in America. Well, Will's solicitor is coming here today.
To this house? Today?
Yes. And look at the state of the place. What'll he think of us?
Never mind the state of the house. What does the solicitor want?
That's it. I don't know. Your father won't say any more, only that the family, including Uncle Paddy, are to be present when the solicitor arrives.
Did he tell you to ask me to come?
No, he didn't. I took that upon myself.
Oh, that's another row on the way, so...
Let him row all he likes. Do you know, Marie, I'm at my wit's end with him. If I had the money and the courage to leave him, I would. But there you are. Poverty makes cowards of us all. I came into this marriage with nothing, but I'm afraid to go out of it with nothing.
Ma'am, if you left Dad in the morning, you would have to get half the value of this place.
I would. Only 10 years ago I signed away that right that I might have to a share of the Flynn farm.
What? Why, ma'am?
Ah, it's all in the past, and the past is best forgotten.
Now, you just can't say something like that and not tell me the reason why you signed away your entitlement to your share of this place. You do trust me, don't you?
Of course I trust you, Marie. It's just that I feel ashamed. Oh, okay, look. I had a fling, a short affair, and he found out. And the price for that was to sign away any right to this place or be thrown out on the side of the road.
An affair? With whom?
Oh, It doesn't matter.
Ma'am, look, I don't blame you. You weren't getting much love or affection at home from Dad, were you?
No, indeed, and I wasn't. As Pat the post put it, if you're not getting home assistance, you might as well look for outdoor relief.
That's gas. Did Pat the post know?
Yes, sure, she knows everything, and she knows everything that goes on round here.
Was it her told Dad?
No. To be fair, she never told a soul. She told me one morning that there was a story going round the village about me and another man.
Another man? Come on, ma'am. Who was it? Come on. You can't stop there. Who was it?
Pascal O'Sullivan.
The butcher?
Yes, Marie, the butcher. His wife had died a few years before. He was lonely and I was lonely. It didn't last long. A month. 5 weeks, actually.
God! I'll never be able to look him in the face when I'm buying meat again. I certainly won't be able to ask him for his speciality sausage.
Marie, stop that.
What did Dad say when he found out?
His first thought was to get me to sign a document he'd already prepared. Then he gave me a lecture on morals, a wife's duty, and bringing shame on the family name. It was bringing disgrace on the family name that bothered him the most. He wasn't jealous or hurt in any way. That just sums up our relationship. No feelings of love or affection. Not even friendship. There hasn't been ever since Joe was born. He wanted a son and an heir to the farm, and when he got that, I was surplus to requirement.
What's she doing here?
She is your daughter.
She's not welcome here anymore, and she knows that.
As far as I'm concerned, she is always welcome here.
As far as you're concerned, your opinion doesn't matter, and she's not welcome here until she changes her living arrangements.
Is she going to get any say in the matter? This is still my home, in case you forgot, Dad.
No, it's not. This is no longer your home. Get out of this house and don't come back until you stop living in sin.
Living in sin? Well, if I am living in sin, it's my sin. Will you listen to yourself? Who do you think you are to be lecturing on about sin?
You're living with a man outside of marriage, and that's a sin. No matter what way you dress it up, the whole bloody parish knows about it.
Let them. There's a whole lot more in this parish living in sin as well as me, if that's the case.
I don't care about anyone else in the parish, but I won't have a daughter of mine living like a slut. Do you hear me?
Dad, that's a terrible thing to say.
Terrible it is. It's the truth. You're nothing but a slut, a cheap one at that. Now get out and stay out, and don't bring any more shame on this family. Why the heck had you just leave me alone? All I ever wanted was to work on the farm and turn it into the best farm in the parish. But no, everyone has to keep picking and prodding at me, putting obstacles in my way, no support. That's what you get for working your fingers to the bone to support your family. And now this solicitor thing on top of it all. Damn you, William. Why couldn't you just have gone and died and be done of it?
What's wrong with Marie? She's out there crying.
Nothing wrong with that one. And she can't fix herself. Anyway, it's none of your business. Did you finish that top of that field?
Yeah, I did. And before you ask, no, I didn't break any blades in that ancient finger bar moor. The farm is still in the dark ages. When are you going to realise that a 6-acre farm is too small to support the size of a dairy herd that's needed to be viable? You not realise there's no future in the milk the size of herd we have unless you have a serious stash of money and plans to buy another 100 acres. There's just no future the way we're going.
Oh, I've plans all right, but there's no stash of money as you put it. Your Uncle William put paid to that.
What's the story with Uncle William? No one ever talks about him. All I know is he went to America after the car crash that killed Uncle Paddy's daughter.
That's all you need to know.
He's older than you, ain't he?
That's enough about him.
Ah, come on, Dad. Why can't we have a simple conversation? Why don't you just talk to me instead of giving me orders and shouting all the time?
Look, your uncle was a messer. a heavy drinker and a blackguard. Always blaming others for his mistakes. After the accident, Daddy told him to leave and not come back. But of course William wouldn't go without his share of the farm. And Daddy, like an idiot, gave him 50,000, which he had to borrow from the bank. That crippled me for years. That's the kind of man your Uncle William is. So you're better off not knowing him.
There's something I want to talk about.
What? Make it quick. I've things to do.
Will you just promise to listen, not lose your temper?
Why, heck, this sounds serious. Go on.
I don't want to go to agricultural college.
What?
I want to go to catering college. I want to train to be a chef.
A chef? But sure, that's women's work.
It ain't woman's work. As a matter of fact, most chefs are men.
Men? They're not men. They're sissies. Hey! Hold on now. There for 1 second. You're not trying to tell me that you're one of them, are you?
One of what?
I heard that you're spending a lot of time with that Cecil fella that works in the hotel.
One of what,
You know, he's one of them.
There's no need to be so ignorant. The term is gay.
Yeah, gay, whatever. And don't tell me that you're not like that.
You are just so narrow-minded. Just because I talk to someone who's gay, you think I'm gay too.
Well, are you?
No, I'm not gay. And even if I was, what difference would it make? You know what, don't even answer that. Look, I'm trained to be a chef, and Cecil's given me work in the hotel kitchen at the weekends to make sure I like it before I commit going to college. That okay? And for the record, he is a nice guy, always willing to help others.
Them lads are always helping when there's something that they want. Now what about this farm?
What about it?
The farm will be yours one day.
Yeah, one day. I'm 22 years old. And what are you, 50?
48.
48. I can't see you handing over the farm till you're either dead or no longer able to move. So we're looking at least 20 to 30 years before I get the run of this place. And by then I'll be a crankety, crotchety old man, just like you.
You upstart.
It's true, You and Ma have never really lived. When was the last time you had a holiday? Well, I don't want to live my life like that.
So what do you want to do? Cook for a living?
Yeah, cooking for a living, working in different hotels all over the world, travel, see what life is like outside this parish.
And what about agriculture college? I've you booked in for September.
I told you I ain't going. I've booked in the catering college and I start there in September. In the meantime, I'll be working full time in a hotel starting next Monday.
And who's going to pay for you in the college? You can be bloody sure it won't be me.
I'll pay my own way, just like Marie did. And you can keep your money.
Where are you going to live? Because if you're not working on this farm, you won't be getting bed and board here.
Thanks, I can stay in town. I'll get someplace. Any place will be better than this place. There's none here but slavery and misery.
Get out. Get out of my sight, you pup. You have your uncle's bad blood in you. The sooner that you pack your bags and go, the better. And you needn't bother coming back.
Joe, are you okay? What's the matter? Do you have to upset everyone? You want to drive everyone away? Your children, neighbours, your Uncle Paddy? What the hell is the matter with you?
There's nothing the matter with me. All I want to be is left alone.
Be careful what you wish for. Someday it might just come true.
Chances would be a fine thing.
You were down at Paddy's.
What of it?
Was it to do with the land he's selling?
Who told you about that?
Well, whoever it wasn't you. You want to buy the land, don't you?
Of course I want to buy it. 16 acres of the finest land around, and water running through it. You don't think I'm a fool?
I won't answer that. But where are you getting the money?
The same place everyone does.
I can't see the bank giving you a loan, not with all the other commitments you have. How much is it worth?
It'd probably make 100,000. Not that it's any near your business.
As much as that? Have you put a bid in it? You have. When is the bidding closing? Well?
Closed yesterday.
Yesterday? You were in town yesterday. Oh, don't tell me you bought it.
I put a deposit down.
You put down a deposit? Oh my God, no. No, you didn't, did you?
Did what?
You're some yoke, Fintan Flynn, if you did what I think you did. You took the money that we were saving up in the credit union and you used that as a deposit. Am I right? Do you hear me? Am I right?
Yes, you're always right.
Oh, you had no right to touch that money.
Ha! I'd every right. That land is more important than any holiday.
More important to you? And what about me? What about what I want? You're the most selfish man I know.
And you've known a few in your time, haven't you?
And what's that supposed to mean?
Well, first it was my brother, then it was my turn, then the butcher, God knows how many more.
Aye, there. That's right. Dig all that up again. Divert attention from what you've done and make me out to be the bad one. You're always passing blame onto others for your mistakes.
Don't talk rubbish, woman. You're the one who broke our marriage vows. Don't forget that.
Marriage vows, is it? I admit that yes, I was unfaithful to you once. That's all. What about your vows? To love, honour and respect. You broke all of those vows long before I broke mine.
You had a roof over your head, food on the table, a bed to sleep in. What more did you want?
Is that what you think marriage is all about?
It's what this marriage is all about. Don't you think that I don't know what if William hadn't gone to America? You wouldn't have given me a second look. But when he ran off, then you looked my direction. I was the next best, second best. I represented security, a future, a roof over your head, food on the table, and a bed to sleep in. That's what you wanted. That's what you got. Now there's your marriage vows. Take 'em or leave 'em. And I'll tell you another thing. If William, or Will as you call him, came back this minute, you'd be off with him like a shot. But he's not coming back. He's dying. Get that into your head. He's never coming back. He's dying thousands of miles away from you, and you'll never see him again.
What's in the letter?
What's in the feckin' letter? Clutching at straws. If you can't have him, you want his last few words on paper. Is that it? You're pathetic.
I might be pathetic, but you are cruel and evil.
I'm practical. That's what I am. Protecting what's mine. The farm is mine. The house is mine. But you were never mine. And thus dying requests of William's to have his ashes buried here with his father. Well, I can tell you that won't be happening.
What? Will wants to be cremated and his ashes buried with his father. So what's wrong with that?
I'll tell you about it. His ashes won't be 5 minutes in that grave, and you'll be making a shrine of it. You'll be up and down to him, bawling and crying, making a show of me. Well, I'm telling you now, it's not going to happen. Look at the time. That solicitor will be here soon. I'll change out of these. We won't want to give him the wrong impression, think that we're hillbillies or something. You might want to smarten yourself up a bit. After all, he might take a shine to you and take you back to America with him. That's if he's blind, of course.
Where's Dad?
He's in the room.
Will you tell him I've gone down to the Longfield to top it, and that's the last bit of work he's going to get out of me?
Can't you leave that alone until after the solicitor's been?
What solicitor?
Your Uncle Will's solicitor is coming here today. Now, all I know is that Will is dying in America, so I presume it has something to do with his last wishes or something like that.
Dad never said a word.
I might have guessed that he wouldn't. A letter arrived last week from your uncle to your father, but all he would tell me about it is that Will is dying and that his solicitor or lawyer or whatever was coming over and wanted to meet here with all the family, including Uncle Paddy.
And why wasn't I told? Does Marie know?
Yes, I told her to be here today. Is she still outside?
Yeah, she's cleaning out her car.
Good. I think that your father didn't want either of you or Marie to be here when the solicitor arrives. God knows why. It's impossible to figure out what goes in that man's head.
So what will I do?
Stay around and let yourself and Marie come in when the solicitor arrives. Ye are family and you're entitled to know what's going on.
Okay, I'll put away the tractor for a while, so...
I declare to God, if Finton's right hand fell off, his left hand would never know anything about it. He's as deep as a well, deeper, as deep as a mine shaft, and just as dark and cold.
God bless all here. Esther, are you on your own?
Yes, indeed, and Paddy, I'm on my own.
The Americans haven't landed yet, I see.
No, Paddy. Did Fintan ask you to be here?
No, he didn't ask me. He as much as told me. Said that William wanted all the family present when the lawyer arrived, and apparently especially mentioned me.
Isn't that strange? Because he never told his son or daughter anything about it.
But surely as family...
Ah, I see now. Will obviously does not know that Fintan has children, and knowing the secretive way Fintan works, the less people, family or not, that knows what's going on, the better. But if that's the case, I've just scuppered his plans by telling Marie and Joe to be here. Let's see how he likes that.
It's a strange situation, Esther. Did you get any look at that letter?
No, I did not, and it wasn't for a want to try.
So we're no wiser than we were last week, so...
No, except that he mentioned today that Will wants to be cremated and his ashes brought back to Ireland and buried with his father.
Oh, well, perhaps that's what this meeting is about today. Clear the air and make arrangements.
Could be, only that Fintan said he will not allow Will's ashes to be buried here.
That's Fintan, true to form. No point in being reasonable when you can be downright contrary.
Well, is that fella here yet?
What fellow would that be?
And don't be smart, the solicitor.
No, the solicitor is not here yet, but your Uncle Paddy is here. You're not even going to salute him.
I thought you were going to smarten yourself up.
Excuse me, Paddy, I'll be back in a minute. Make yourself a cup of tea, if you care for one.
Thanks, Esther. I'm okay for the moment.
You didn't say anything to her about the bank loan, did you?
No, Fintan, I didn't. That's your place to talk to your wife and tell her the difficulty that you're in.
My difficulty, as you put it, has nothing to do with her.
Well, that's between the two of you, but if you want my opinion, you should let her know. I mean, if worse comes to worse, and you can't raise the loan, you will...
If I wanted your opinion, I would have asked for it. But not asking you for anything is of any use.
We've been over this ground already, Fintan. You know my position on it.
I don't see why you're being so awkward about it. I'm prepared to pay you on a monthly basis what I would be paying the bank, and even a bit more. So you'd get your money.
It's not the way to do business. The auctioneer is against it. My solicitor is against it. And as I already told you, that money is going to Mary.
Not to hell with the auctioneer and the solicitor, and Mary as well. Don't forget she walked out on you. What? What is it? 15 years ago?
No, Fintan. Mary didn't walk out on me. I drove her out. Myself in the bottle. And you know, when she left, she never took a penny. Never looked for anything.
She wouldn't a monthly payment to her. After all, she has neither a chick nor a child to look after.
That's the end of this conversation, Fintan.
Sorry, Paddy, I didn't mean that. Well, it's just...
There's a car after pulling up outside. Oh, it must be the solicitor. Oh, no, it's Pat the post. But there's another car pulling in after her.
For God's sake. Pat the flippin' post. What the hell does she want at this hour of the day? Get rid of her.
Hello, the house. Well, there you are all waiting in the room like the Lord's disciples waiting for the Holy Ghost to descend upon them.
Yes, and look what's after descending on us now.
I bring good news. Well, I hope it's good news. That American liar is as tight-lipped as they come. There I am in the post office, minding my own business, when in walks this Yank, looking for the Flint farm. So being the good Christian that I am, I says, there's no point in giving me directions when I could easily lead you to the way. So, here we are.
Thanks, Pat. Could you show him in?
Oh, I couldn't do that, Esther. No, for it's a she, a female liar. Now, come on this way, Phil.
Hi, folks. I am Phil O'Gorman. I am William Flynn's lawyer.
Lovely. Now, let me introduce you to everyone here. This is Fintan Flynn, William's brother. And this is his lovely wife, Esther. Esther and William used to be sweethearts before he went away, that is. This is their Uncle Paddy Flynn. Now, where are the children? Well, so they're not children any longer. Huh? Look, right on cue. This is Maria the eldest. She's a nurse, and a right good one at that. And last but not least, this is young Joe. He's helping out on the farm. But he really wants to be... Oops, too much said. Sorry, Joe.
Won't you sit down, Miss O'Gorman?
Yes, thank you. And do please call me Phil.
Anyway, there you have it. The entire Flynn family. Except, of course, William. How is William? I believe he got a bad old knockout.
Thank you, Miss Ryan. It is Miss, is it not?
Oh, yes, indeed, miss. It is. Missed out on marriage. Too busy looking after my mother. And sure, by the time she died, Lord have mercy in her soul, I'd missed out on marital boat. But sure, you know what they say. What you never have, you never miss. Are you married yourself?
No, I am not. Don't have the time or the opportunity.
O'Gorman? Well, that's an Irish name anyway. So you must have some Irish connections.
Yes, I was born in Ireland and emigrated to the States when I was 25 years of age.
What part of Ireland are you from then?
Pat, would you ever get out and let the sister get on with what business she has?
Oh, sure. Let you carry on. Don't let me get in the way.
Thank you, Miss Ryan, for being kind enough to escort me here. But if you wouldn't mind leaving us now. My business with these good people is strictly private.
Say no more, Phil. Will I call back for you later?
Oh no, that won't be necessary. I can find my own way back.
Well, I'll be off, so God bless.
Now, let's cut to the chase as to why I am here. Mr. Fintan Flynn, did you receive a letter from your brother William stating his health issues?
Yes.
William was diagnosed last year with an aggressive form of cancer. His doctors at the time did not expect him to survive longer than 6 months. That was 5 months ago. William wants his affairs put in order before he dies, and as such has drawn up what is in effect a living will. Mr. William Flynn is quite a wealthy man, having made his fortune developing derelict sites in both New York and New Jersey, where he now resides. His estate in total comes to $16.5 million.
What? $16.5 million? My God, that's some amount of money.
Yes, sir, it is indeed. Now, if I may, I will read out the living will, drawn up by the aforementioned William Flynn. I, William Flynn, being of sound mind, do wish, on my demise, to leave all of my assets, property, land and monies to my next of kin, my brother, Fintan Flynn, on the following conditions. Number 1, that on my death I be cremated, and my ashes returned to Ireland, and interred with my father in our family plot in St. Kieran's Cemetery. Number 2, that my brother Fintan will make known to our Uncle Paddy and to his own wife Esther, and any family that they might have, the truth about the car crash in which Alice Flynn was fatally injured.
What?
Please let me finish.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Number 3, that Fintan Flynn signs over the family farm to me as it would have been rightfully mine had I not been wrongfully accused of causing the accident and forced to leave. Upon my death, the farm and all of my assets will then pass to the said Fintan Flynn. Failure to comply with all of my wishes will, upon my death, result in all of my assets going to a charity, namely the African Trust Foundation. There is a footnote. As time is not on my side, I will need a decision and full compliance within 2 days of reading this. Yours sincerely, William Flynn.
$16.5 million.
Wrongfully accused. What does he mean?
The farm signed over to him? Does Will want to come back to take over the farm?
No, I can assure you, William has no intention of coming back to take over the farm. I can see that ye are all taken by surprise by these wishes of William. I will leave a copy of his conditions with you, Mr. Fintan Flynn. Today is Wednesday, and as stated in the document, you have 2 days to comply with William's requests, or forego any claim to his estate. I will be back here on Friday afternoon for your answers.
Hold on. What do you mean back on Friday? I'm not going to sign over my farm on the basis of a piece of paper.
Mr. Flynn, it is entirely up to you what you wish to do, but I will be back here on Friday next at the same time as today. At that time you will either have complied with my client's wishes, all of them, or not. The choice is entirely yours. Thank you, and good day to you all.
How did William manage to make all that money? One thing for sure, he wouldn't have made it here, so he can thank me for that. Not that he ever would. Just because he's dying, he thinks he has the right to make all these stupid conditions. All that money, huh? 16.5 million. I bet that went to his head, for all the good it will do him now. You can't buy your health. He's dying, and all the money in the world can't save him. Ironic, isn't it?
Hello, the house.
Oh, for God's sake. Not Pat the Post. Not today of all days.
Ah, it's yourself that's there, Fintan.
What do you want? Weren't you here already this morning with the electric bill?
I was indeed, I was. But sure, when I went back to the post office, and there it was, a parcel for young Joe. I must have missed it earlier. So says I to myself, I must be slipping up, and we can't have parcels delayed like that. Nothing for it, says I, when I get back and finish the job properly. So here I am.
Here you are is right. Leave the parcel there and be off with you. I'm busy.
Busy? Yes, right. It must be busy with the mind and not busy of the body, eh?
Busy of the body describes you only. Only leave out the words of and that.
You're a gas man, Fintan Flynn. Now, it's this way, you see. I can't leave the package without it being signed for.
I'll sign first.
Oh no, it's addressed to young Joe. So, technically, he should be the one to sign for it, you see.
He must be around somewhere. Joe! Joe!
I'll be out in a minute. I'm in the shower.
I hear that Willem is not well. Is he bad?
Do I look like a doctor? Anyway, it's none of your business. Are you sure that I can't sign for that package? Can't be that important.
You can't, and it's not for me or you to decide how important this package might be to the person who ordered it. Listen, I'll sit down a while I'm waiting. The leg is still giving me a bit of bother when I stand in it for too long. Willem made a pile of money in America, I hear.
What if he did? It's no one's business but his.
Oh, sure, that's true. As long as it was made legal, that's all that matters.
What do you mean by that remark?
Oh, nothing at all. Well, except Willem was a bit on the wild side before he went away, and you would have to wonder how he made all them billings. I know a lot of steady lads that went, and none of them ever came back with millions.
Well, William won't be coming back. Millions or no millions.
Oh, dear God. Too sick, is he? Does it say what's the matter with him in the letters?
God bless all here. Oh, it's yourself that's in it, Pat the Post. You don't mind if I leave my friend Power here on the dresser?
What's that bottle doing there?
It's my nightcap, otherwise known as whiskey.
You can't leave that there. I don't allow alcohol of any description inside this house. Now take it and leave it outside someplace.
Finton, calm down. It will only be here for as long as I am, and you should know that as long as you leave the whiskey in the bottle, you're in control of it. But if you pour it out of the bottle and into yourself, then the whiskey is in control of you. And it's only too well I know all about that.
Paddy, you might be the right man in the right place. Weren't you a doctor before you retired?
Yes, Pat, I was.
Well, then you might be the man to help Finton with the letter from Willem in America. You should be able to tell us what you read. What's he suffering from and how serious it is?
If Finton wants my opinion on the letters, he only has to ask.
Well, I'm not asking. It's my business what's in the letter and no one else's. I'm going to check the bulk tank. Joe! Is it an elephant that you're washing in there? Get out here and sign for this bloody package and let that postwoman get on with her own business.
He's a bit touchy today, is our Finton. Did Willem ever marry, do you know, Paddy?
Not that I know of, Pat.
So, Finton would be the only next of kin then. And if Willem is that sick, as they make him out to be, sure, he'll not be able to come home. Sure, it's only a matter of time before, well, you know, sure, Willem will surely leave all that money to Finton.
Well, there's telling in that. Sure, God only knows what way anything will turn out. Any news in the village, Pat?
News, indeed. And if there was himself, wouldn't I be the last one to know?
Any news from Walter Hennessy? I heard he was taken into hospital last Monday.
Sure, he was home again on Tuesday. Some kind of trapped nerve or a wind pain he had. Not surprising, seeing as he's full of wind anyway. That fella, he's so fond of himself. If he was a lollipop, he would lick himself to death.
He was always a bit of a Mayfainer.
Sorry for keeping you waiting, Pat. Oh, hello, Paddy. Didn't know you were here.
There's no rush now, Joe. I'm finished for today after this.
What do I sign?
Here we are. Sign on this electronic gadget. I'll tell you, only for the parcels and packages that people order online, I would have very little to deliver any more. Sure, no one is writing or sending letters. Even birthday cards and Christmas cards are gone scarce. Oh, 'tis all texts and Facebooks these days. I'd better be off before Finton comes back, or he's liable to throw a hissy fit.
God bless Pat.
Well, Paddy, how are you today?
Pulling the devil by the tail as always, Esther.
Oh, it's a pity you couldn't leave that particular devil alone, Paddy. You're a great loss as a doctor to many people round here.
Easier said than done.
What have you got there, Joe?
It's just a book of recipes I got online.
Won't it be a great change for me to have my son cooking up lovely meals for me? Now, that's something to look forward to, isn't it? Is Finton back from town yet?
He must be. He was shouting at me while I was in the shower.
He went out to check the bulk tank.
Did he say what he was going to do? Now, that's a silly question. When did Fintan Flynn ever tell anyone what was on in his mind?
But Ma, Dad's going to have to comply with the 3 conditions if he'll inherit the money. Even Dad's not so stupid to walk away from $16.5 million.
Fintan never worried about wasting anyone else's time. When it comes to stupidity, your father has monopoly in it, so there's no telling what he could decide to do. Oh, there's a car now. Oh, it's hardly the solicitor one. 'Tis a bit early. Oh no, it's Marie. Well, we're all here now, except for the principal witness. The man who holds all our futures in his hands.
Well, he ain't holding my future in his hands any longer. I'm going to make my own way in this world with or without him and his money.
Well, isn't this nice? A welcoming committee.
God knows, Marie. Welcome's not a word that gets used much around here.
Now that's only two, ma'am. How are you, Uncle Paddy?
Can't complain, Marie.
Ma'am, are you sure that Dad wanted us, Joe and me, to be here today?
I wouldn't have asked you, only he said the solicitor insisted that all the family must be here when she comes back today to finalise things. That is if your father's going to comply with Will's conditions.
Where is he?
He's in the milking parlour.
Ha! I see the vultures have gathered.
That's a nice way to address your children. Thanks, Dad.
Well, you wouldn't be here if there wasn't a smell of money around.
That's not true. I'm here because I was asked to be here. But if you don't want me here, that's fine. I'm out of here.
Hold your horses. Stay where you are.
What happened to please? But of course, that was never a word that existed in your vocabulary.
Enough of your fancy language. You can stay until the solicitor's gone. But then, I want you out of this house. And don't dare come back until you stop living in sin with that useless article of a boyfriend that you call.
Well, I won't be coming back here ever again then, will I?
Huh, suit yourself.
What about me, Dad? Do you want me to leave and never come back as well?
Well, if you're not going to cop yourself on and go to agriculture college and then work this farm, you can go and don't bother coming back either.
The cheek of you, Fintan Flynn. My children are always welcome here. This is their home.
It's a Flynn home. And I'll decide who comes and goes. Now enough of this nonsense. Is there any sign of that solicitor?
Well, Fintan?
Well, what?
What have you decided?
That's for me to know and you to find out.
Look here. This is my future that's at stake, so what are we going to do? And before you start, that stupid agreement you got me to sign, well, let me tell you, it's not worth the paper it's written on.
Oh, yes, it is.
Liar. It's not. I checked it with Citizens' Information. It was signed under duress and without a witness, so you may think again. It's worthless.
We'll see about that.
Your days of seeing about anything are over. So before you make any decisions about this farm, I'm entitled to my opinion.
Esther, your husband put down a deposit of 10,000 on my land, but that was before he discovered that the bank would not give him the loan to buy it. So now, if he can't raise the rest of the money before Monday, he'll lose the deposit.
He put down a deposit and now he can't get a loan to buy the land. What kind of an idiot are you, Fintan? No one in their right mind. Oh, wait a minute. Where did you get the other 5,000 for the deposit? Don't tell me you got it out of the credit union. Well, answer me.
Where else was I going to get it?
How, I asked you? How?
I borrowed it on the strength of 5,000 that we had in savings.
Oh, you miserable bashtoon. You've no right to touch that money. And definitely no right to borrow from that account.
I had every right. It's in both our names.
You made a promise when we opened that account. I should have known a promise means nothing to you.
Or you either, let me remind you.
Ah, she's here, the solicitor.
At least now we might get some answers.
Think about it. $16.5 million. Just imagine how much land you could buy with that.
You keep out of this. It's nothing to do
Oh,
with
it
you.
has, you know, Dad. You see, you're going to have to die sometime, and sure won't Marie and myself have a great time spending all that money, because one thing's for sure, you won't spend any of it.
Good afternoon, all.
Won't you sit down, Miss O'Gorman?
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Flynn. But please, call me Phil. I have all the necessary documents with me to facilitate the signing of the living will of Mr. William Flynn. Mr. Fenton Flynn, have you any questions before we proceed?
No.
Your solicitor, Mr. McCormack, was in touch with me, and I provided him with all of the documentation and information that he requested. I am sure he made you aware of this.
He did.
Do you require your solicitor to be present here today?
No.
Okay. Let us proceed then.
Can we not do this in private? Why must they all be here?
Mr. Flynn, we have been over this ground already. And as I stated before, it is a clear condition of your brothers that all, and I repeat all, of the Flynn family be present. If you are not happy to proceed with this condition, then I am afraid I will have to conclude this meeting.
Okay. Get on with it.
Firstly, I must make you aware that I am recording this. Okay?
Yes, okay.
Mr. Fenton Flynn, on condition 1, that on the death of your brother William Flynn, you agree to have his remains, that is, his ashes, as he is to be cremated, brought back to Ireland and interred with his father in St. Kieran's graveyard. Well, Mr. Flynn, are you willing to comply with this condition?
Yes, okay.
Please, sign here. Mr. Patrick Flynn, would you be so kind as to witness this signature? Thank you. Now, condition number 2. Mr. Fenton Flynn, are you willing to make known to all present the truth regarding the fatal accident that occurred on September 3rd, 27 years ago, in which Alice Flynn lost her life?
There's nothing to tell.
I'm afraid my client thinks otherwise.
He can think what he likes. There's nothing to tell.
Mr. Flynn, please do not waste my time. Your brother hired a private investigator to look into the accident and has spent considerable resources and time researching and analysing the event of that night. From the results he obtained, he is absolutely certain that he could not have been driving that car. Now, are you going to clarify what happened and make known who was driving? Yes or no?
Yes, damn it, okay. I was driving. Are you happy now?
What are you saying? You were driving. Will was not to blame? How did...
Please, Mrs. Flynn, I must ask you to refrain from any comment or questions until I am finished. Mr. Flynn, please state what transpired on the night in question.
Seven William and Alice went to the MacLeod dance in Airpog. We went in William's car. He drove. We were to pick up Esther on the way, but she couldn't go as her mother was very sick and had been taken into hospital. Anyway, William said that he'd not be drinking. But he did. By the time the dance was over, he was totally out of it. I had only a couple of pints, so I said I'd drive. Alice and myself bundled William into the back of the car. The rest, I really don't know. I think I fell asleep for a minute. The next thing I knew, the car was ploughed into a wall. Couldn't stop. I got out of the car and I tried to get Alice out. She wasn't breathing. I couldn't get her door open. I realised she was dead. I panicked. I couldn't face my father. Uncle Paddy and Aunt Mary. I don't know why, but I put William out of the back seat. He was unconscious but breathing. I got him into the driver's seat. I heard a car coming up the road, so I flagged it down. It was Michael Moore. He rang for an ambulance and the guards. Look, it was a moment of madness. I didn't know what I was doing. I just panicked.
All these years, Fintan, and you never said a word. My daughter died in that car and you never thought of coming clean, telling the truth, saying sorry to her mother and I.
I couldn't. Can't you see? If I'd told the truth, William would have wanted to take over the farm. He wouldn't have worked it. He would have let it go to rack and ruin. I couldn't allow that.
Oh, you're one callous article. All these years you let Will take the blame. No, you didn't let him. You forced him. Conned him into thinking that he was the one driving. That he was the one responsible for Alice's death. You should be put in jail for 27 years. The same length of time that Will had to suffer under your lies.
He didn't suffer half as much as I did. Carrying all that guilt all those years. And don't forget, going to America made a man out of him. Look at all the money he made. He would have never made a fraction of that here in Ireland. So you can thank me for that.
Mr. Flynn, before we move on to the next condition, can you sign here?
What? What now?
Mr. Flynn, please sign this statement declaring that it was you and not your brother that was driving the car. Thank you. Patrick Flynn, if you would kindly sign as a witness. Now, to condition number 3, do you agree to sign over the farm to your brother William Flynn?
No, I can't. It's not fair. I've worked every hour that God sent on this farm. It's my life. What would I do? No, I can't.
You can still work every hour of your miserable life on this farm. Will only wants it in his name. You will still be able to work on it, and anyway, it'll be back in your name as soon as Will dies. It seems like that might be only weeks, or even days away.
Mr. Flynn, you do realise that if you do not comply with this condition, your brother will leave all his assets to charity. That's all $16.5 million.
Yes, I do. But I can't do that.
Okay, Mr. Flynn, if that is your decision, I will take my leave of you.
No, please wait. Fintan, for God's sake, 16.5 million. When are we ever going to see that kind of money?
Dah, are you mad? You can't turn down that amount of money.
Can you not forget your pride for 1 minute and think of your wife and family for a change?
Please, everyone. This must be Mr. Flynn's decision. A decision that he is allowed to make without coercion. Well, Mr. Flynn, your final answer. Are you willing to sign this farm over to your brother William? Yes or no?
Okay, I'll sign it.
Patrick, can you please witness that?
What happens now?
Well, Mr. Flynn, there are a few formalities to be sorted out with your solicitor and the bank, but technically, the farm now belongs to your brother William.
But he said he had no interest in taking over the farm.
That is correct. From what I understand, my client has no interest in taking over the farm, so I presume you will continue to run the farm as usual. But my client may wish to have an input into how it is run. You will, in effect, be running the farm in a caretaker capacity.
A caretaker? You must be joking. This is my farm and always will be. I've put every ounce of energy, every penny into this farm, and I'll be not a caretaker on my farm.
Mr. Flynn, you have signed the farm over to your brother William, and therefore the farm is now his.
No.
Let me finish. You have complied with my client's wishes, so therefore, upon his passing, you will inherit his estate, which will include the farm.
Fintan, calm down. Listen to her. It's just a technicality. The bloody farm is still yours to slave away your life on.
Mr. Flynn, before I leave, I must give you a copy of my client's living will.
How long is he expected to live?
I am not a doctor, Mr. Flynn, but I can, if you wish, put you in touch with my client's doctor, who may be able to tell you how long your brother has left to live. Now, please, excuse me.
Right. Yes. Imagine, in a couple of weeks, I'll be the wealthiest man in the parish. I can buy all the land I like. That'll put a few noses out of joint, huh?
Fintan, stop. Have you given any thought to how Will is feeling? He's thousands of miles away from home, away from his family with death staring him in the face, and all you care about is getting your greedy hands on his money. You are one heartless article.
Right on both counts, wife.
We should be with him. Someone should be with him. He shouldn't die alone.
It would be lovely if we could visit him. I would love to meet him, get to know him, even if it is only for a week or even a couple of days. Why don't we go over to America to meet him?
Oh, there's nothing I would like more, but we can't afford it. We haven't a penny to our name. Your father has seen to that.
Even if we had the money, we're not going.
Well, you might not be going, but I am. I'll find the money somewhere. It's time that you realise that you don't control everyone's life, and maybe time we realise that too.
I'll go with you, Maria. It's time that someone from the family apologise to William for the wrong that has been done, even if the apology is not from the person who caused that wrong in the first place.
Go on, off to America. Don't apologise for me. I'm not sorry for what I did. William would have done the same to me. And if he had been left the farm, he would have done the same as you, Paddy, and drank it.
My God, Fintan, you're one bitter man. Have you no remorse for what you did? No need to answer. I can see that you don't. I'll fund the trip to America.
Now where will you get the money?
On Monday morning, when you can pay the balance for my 16 acres, your deposit of 10,000 will be mine.
You can't do that. That's my money.
I can and I will. I can't think of a better way of spending it than giving William a chance of meeting some of his family before he dies. So who wants to come with me?
Oh, please, Paddy. I would love to go. Thanks.
Thanks, Paddy. Count me in.
I'd like to go too.
This is priceless, huh? Off to America to meet the prodigal son. All off to see if they can get some of the 16.5 million for themselves, huh? Wouldn't it be great gas if you were halfway across the Atlantic when he died? Ye going one way to meet him and his ashes coming the other way to meet you. Ha ha. Oh, Chile.
What are you laughing at?
I just realised none of you know where William is in America.
But you do. And you will give me his address right now.
You must be joking.
I'll get his address from his solicitor, Miss O'Gorman. She'll still be in town. I'm sure she'd only be too delighted to supply me with William's address and contact details.
There will be no need for that, Paddy. If the mountain won't come to Mohammed, then I guess Mohammed has got to come to the mountain.
William? It can't be. No. No. Not you. Not here.
Will. Is it really you? Am I dreaming?
Well, Esther, if you're dreaming, then we're all dreaming. William, you're welcome home.
Oh, Will. It is you. I thought you were... But you look so well.
Yes, I guess for a guy that's dying, I don't look so bad.
What's going on? Why are you here? Why are you not...
Dead? Or dying? Well, the fact is, yes, I am dying, but then again we all are. It's just a question of when. Are these your two kids, Esther? Well, of course they're not kids. They're all grown-up young adults.
Yes, Will. This is Marie, our eldest, and this is Joe.
I am mighty pleased to meet you both.
It's lovely to meet you too, Uncle William.
Yeah, it's great. It's such a shock. We never heard anything from you until a few weeks ago, and now you're home.
Might I sit a while?
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry, Will. Sit here, please.
Thank you.
Why are you here? What do you want?
Now that's quite a long story. Why am I here? Well, Finton, despite many efforts to communicate with you... Oh, and speaking of communications, I think I can put away this cell phone that my lawyer, Miss O'Gorman, left here. You need to know that not only was it recording, but it was live on my cell phone as well.
And you could hear everything we said.
Correct. You see, it eliminates any misunderstandings, any need for pretense, and puts me right in the picture of how you all think and feel about me.
Playing games. Dirty, sneaking, feckin' games.
You see it your way, Finton, and I see it mine. If you had told the truth on the night of the accident, or indeed at any time since, I wouldn't need to play any games, but you did not, and would not. So what was I to do? Now, that brings me to the second part of your question, as to what do I want.
I know what you want. You always wanted the farm, and now you have it. That's it, isn't it?
You are way off target. I don't want this farm. That's not what I came back for. I came back to clear my name, for the truth.
Well, you have it now, so you can clear off back to America.
Finton, shut up. Will, how are you? Your health, the cancer.
Thank you for asking, Esther. My health at present is okay. Yes, it's quite good. The doctors have given me the all clear.
So there's 6 months to live. And dying of cancer was all a sick joke.
No, Finton, it was no joke. Last year I was diagnosed with cancer. The doctor told me that it was quite an aggressive tumour and that he did not think that it was possible to remove. He told me that I had 6 months at most to live.
So why are you not dead?
Wow, you don't mince your words, do you, Finton? Determination, money and luck, but mostly determination. That's what saved me. 27 years ago, you wronged me. I couldn't prove it, but I knew it. I knew that I was too drunk that night to stand up, let alone drive the car. I kept getting flashbacks. You, Alice, Lord rest her soul, putting me into the back seat. So how did I get to be in the driving seat? October of that year, I left Ireland and went to America. Before Christmas that year, I wrote home wishing everyone a happy Christmas and to let ye know where I was, but I got no reply. The following spring, I wrote again because I was changing address, but again I got no reply. I wondered if my letters got there or what was happening at home. Not knowing, being cut off, that was the hardest thing to bear. July of that year, 9 months after I'd left Ireland, I got my first and only letter from home. The letter was short. I will read it to you. Just to let you know that our father died last week. He is buried in St. Kieran's graveyard. If you have any notion of coming home, don't bother. There's nothing here for you anymore. You should know that Esther and I are married. Whatever life you have in America, that's the life you have now. I won't be writing to you again. Fintan. After that, I knew there was no going back. I buried myself in work. I worked my way up from labourer to foreman to running my own construction company. Last summer, I was not feeling well, and after several tests was diagnosed with cancer. When you are given 6 months to live, it sharpens the mind, puts life into perspective. I sold a construction firm, decided to make one more effort at contacting my brother. I was hoping for the truth and perhaps even reconciliation. After all, you were my only living relative. Who was I going to leave my money and property to? So I wrote to you telling you of my illness and wishes. I asked you to contact me so that we could talk. I told you that all I wanted was for you to tell me the truth of what happened the night of the accident, to own up to what I knew you did. But you never contacted me. The weeks went by, and no word from you, and do you know, it was the hurt and anger inside me that gave me the determination to fight the cancer. I searched until I found a specialist that was prepared to undertake the operation. It was risky. I had 30% chance of surviving the operation, but I took it. 30% is better odds than 0%. I survived the operation. The tumor was removed. It's going to take a couple of years to get back to full health again, but that's okay. Twice in my life, Fintan, you've caused me great pain and distress, and that pain and hurt drove me to achieve what I have achieved. Ironic, isn't it? While I was recovering after the operation, I had time to think, to plan. I realized that you were never going to come clean about your actions on that night, so I thought, well, I have already notified you about my illness and that I had 6 months to live. I decided not to give you the follow-up story, but to tell you of my intention of making a living will with you as my sole benefactor, under certain conditions. $16.5 million is a great temptation, and I was sure greed would get the truth out of you when honouring compassion wouldn't.
Should have been a politician with a big long speech. But where does that leave me?
It leaves you exactly where you are. You're still my brother, even if you do hate me, and when I die, all of my estate at that time will pass to you. Sure, the time frame may have changed, but that's about all that has.
That will. It's not legal anymore. I was tricked. It's a fraud. You lied to me.
Nobody lied to you, but greed blinded you from asking the right questions.
Damn you, William. It's a pity you didn't die in that crash.
He is one bitter guy. Carrying that guilt for 27 years has built up so much hate inside him, and now that's all he knows. Bitterness and hate. Enough about Fintan. Uncle Paddy, how are you? How's your good wife Mary?
I am fine, William, but Mary left me 15 years ago. I don't blame her. I drove her away, me and the bottle. She went to live with her sister in Dublin, while I stayed here and proceeded to drink the farm.
Mary is okay, yes?
Yes, William, Mary is fine. Her sister has Alzheimer's and is in a nursing home, and Mary is looking after the house and her as best she can.
Would you not think of selling up here, Paddy, and joining Mary in Dublin, or is that an option?
Oh, it's an option, all right. But I would have to give up the drink first.
If you have a good enough reason to give up something and the determination to do so, you can achieve almost anything, Paddy, and I should know that.
True for you, William. Well, I must be off. Maybe I have wallowed in my own grief and self-pity for long enough. Perhaps it's the time I pulled myself together and was there for Mary for a change and for whatever time we've left. I will stay in the room for a while, William.
Well, I've got to hang around until some legal issues are sorted. A couple of days should do, and then it's back to the States.
Call to see me before you go.
I will surely, Paddy.
Goodbye, Power, my old friend. It's not going to be easy to get you out of my system, but out you have to go.
Well, what about these two young people? Up to 2 days ago, I thought that all I had as a family was my brother Fintan. Now I have a niece and nephew. What do you do for a living, Marie?
I'm a nurse, Uncle William.
And I guess you make a mighty fine nurse at that. And you, Joe?
Well, I've been at home on the farm for the past year, but I'm going to be a chef.
Chef? Why, that's a good profession, Joe. You get a chance to travel the world with a profession like that.
That's what I think too, and I just love cooking.
Well, Joe, if you ever want to do some cooking in New York, I have a few connections that can get you into the trade there.
Thanks, Uncle William. I might just take you up on that.
Ma'am, if you'll excuse me, I have to get going. I'm on nights this evening. Uncle William, it's lovely to meet you. Don't go back to America without saying goodbye.
Will and Marie, I need to talk to the two of you privately.
Ma'am, I really must be off. I have to get ready for work. Can you make it quick?
Can I get a lift into town with you, Marie?
Sure, Joe. Wait in the car. What is it, ma'am?
This is so difficult. I should have told you years ago, Marie.
This sounds serious.
Ma'am, can it not wait until tomorrow?
No, I have to tell you now. I might not get a chance to talk to the two of you together again. Oh God, there's no easy way to say this. Oh, Marie, Fintan is not your father. Oh, Will is.
What?
Oh, yes. I know I should have told you, but I couldn't. I couldn't tell you without telling Will first. And Fintan made sure that I'd no contact and no way of communicating with Will. I didn't discover that I was pregnant until Will was gone. My mother was in hospital. I was all over the place and then Ma'am died. I was all alone. I was scared. I flung myself at Fintan. It was the only option I could see at the time.
Ma'am, all these years. How could you let me believe that Fintan was my father? That was really cruel.
Yes, Marie, I know, and I'm so sorry. All these years I've lived with my lies.
What about all the years that I lived thinking that Fintan was my father? Why couldn't you tell me?
I wanted Will to know first, and anyway, I was afraid that if I told you that someday in the heat of an argument you might let it slip, and if that happened, we would both be thrown out of the house, and what would we do then?
You just told your horses, Esther. Is this true? Marie is my daughter?
Yes, Will. She is. And I'm so sorry that you're to find out like this. If only I had your address in America, I would have written to you. Please, I'm begging you both to forgive me.
How did you get Fintan to believe that I was his?
Fintan was not in a good place after the accident. For months after, he went around in a daze. And yes, I took advantage of that. When I told him that I was pregnant, he didn't question it. He just said that we would have to get married. He couldn't have shame brought upon the Flynn name.
So you finally decide to come clean and tell your illegitimate brat of a daughter who her father is. Do you think I didn't know? I did the maths, and I wasn't adding up. It had to be Williams, I knew that.
Why did you marry me?
Because if I didn't, and somehow William found out, he would have been back like a shot. I couldn't have had that. So I was the lesser of the two evils. Rather a brat of a girl or a William coming back, upsetting all my plans.
You knew all this time. Is that why you made my life a misery? And none of it was my fault?
Every time I looked at you, I could see his smart aleck way. Part of him was living under the same roof as me. And I had to foot the bill. Everything you needed.
Everything boils down to money with you. Fintan Flynn, you were one self-centred, bitter, evil man, and I want nothing more to do with you.
That makes two of us. You know where the door is, and you'll never come back.
Come back? What is there to come back to? You are nothing to me now. And as for you, ma'am, how could you not trust me to tell me the truth before now?
Oh, Marie, I am so sorry. Believe me.
Believe you? I don't think I can believe anyone in this family ever again.
I think it's time that I left. We all need some time to think.
Well, please don't go. Not yet.
You all need some space to talk things through, and I need some time to think. I'll be back tomorrow.
Don't bother to come back. Ever again. You're not welcome.
Fintan, my dear brother, you are forgetting one very important fact. This farm is now mine, and I can come here any time I want. Furthermore, I can do whatever I want with it.
Ma'am!
Oh, Marie, please forgive me. I couldn't bear to live if we were to fall out.
Look, we're not going to fall out, but it's going to take time for me to take all of this in.
Oh, of course it is. Look, Marie, I never meant to deceive you, but it was the only way out that I could see at the time. Oh, God Almighty, what's going to happen to us now?
I don't know. We must wait and see what William has in store for us, I suppose. Ma'am, tell me the truth. Is he my real father?
Oh, yes, Marie. As sure as God is my judge, he is. How are you? Are you okay?
I don't know. I'm still trying to come to grips with all that's gone on.
Oh, Marie, you don't know how really sorry I am for holding back on you, but I couldn't take the chance. Fintan was capable of throwing both of us out of house and home.
This was never a home. Sure, it was a roof over our heads, but Fintan made sure it would never be a happy place to live. I'm not sure that we wouldn't have been happier on our own, and we might have been able to track down William, my father, in America.
If only I had the courage, Marie. But I was afraid. I was always weak, always taking what I considered to be the easier option. Oh, Marie, please, can you forgive me?
Someone is here. There's a car outside.
But, it's Will. Oh, Marie, can we at least be friends?
Look, you're still my mother. And you were always in my corner. But it's going to take a while for this to sink in, for the hurt to go away.
Good morning to the Flynn family. Is Fintan not home?
He's out in the yard somewhere.
No matter. What I have to say really only involves Marie, but perhaps it would be best if Fintan heard what I have to say. It would avoid any misunderstanding.
I'll get him.
I'm sorry you had to find out like this. That Marie is yours.
Yes, it was quite a shock, to say the least. To tell you the truth, I was not inclined to believe you until Fintan made it clear his reason for marrying you. I guess you could call that a double bluff.
I know what I did was wrong. But at the time I didn't know what else to do. You were gone. I had no way of contacting you. I was pregnant and on my own. Can you forgive me?
Yes, Esther, I can forgive you. But I think that you also need to forgive yourself. We all need to move on. Leave the past in the past and make the best of what life we have left to live.
Joe is here as well. Is that okay?
Sure, why not? The more the merrier.
What do you want now?
I don't want anything from you, Fintan, or indeed any of this family. I'm Here to sort out some issues before I return to the States.
You're going back then?
Yes, I am indeed. Before I came back, I had this romantic idea that home was very much as I'd left it, but sadly that is not the case. I was grieving for what I had left behind. Now I realize that what I had left behind is no longer here, so yes, I am going back to America tomorrow. That's where my life is now, and has been for the past 27 years.
Enough sentimental rubbish. Get on with what you came here for.
Finton, if nothing else, you are consistent. Up to yesterday, I thought that the only family I had was you, Finton. Then I discovered that I have a daughter, and that, as the fellow says, changes everything.
You can't change your will.
I have no intention of changing my will. When I die, dear brother, everything I own at that time will be yours. But of course, the important phrase in the sentence is at that time.
What do you mean, at that time?
Finton, shut your pie hole and let me get on with it. Marie, my daughter, I am leaving this farm to you to do with as you please. I have purchased Uncle Paddy's place from him, which I intend to use as a holiday home when and if I come back to Ireland. That also is in your name, Marie. I will set up a trust fund for you, which will amount to $5 million, and which you can draw down from when you're 30. There are some charities which I am particularly fond of which I intend to be very generous to over the next few years, and yes, Finton, whatever is left when I die will be yours, but I wouldn't count on it being very much. So there you are. All that is left to me is to say goodbye. Marie, will you walk me to my car?
Sure. Okay. I don't know what to say.
Then it's best not to say anything at all, at least for the present. So, goodbye, folks. I would like to say that it has been a pleasure, but that would not be altogether true, would it? The only good that has come out of my visit, apart from Finton admitting to a sinister act, is finding out that I have a daughter. And what a lovely young lady she is. Marie, if you would.
Hey, come back. You can't leave me like this. I'm your brother.
No, Finton. You're not his brother. He was always your brother, but you were never his.
Shut up. What the hell do you know about anything?
Well, according to you, nothing. And maybe you're right. Oh, God, what are we going to do? What's going to happen to us all?
It seems Marie's holding all the cards now. Who would have thought that Marie could come out on top? I wonder what she'll do with the farm.
All that slaving and dragging for nothing, Finton Flynn. And all because you couldn't admit to what you did.
Shut up. You're as just much to blame as I am. Now, don't you see? Why I don't want him coming back. All he really wanted was revenge. He's one evil yoke.
He's gone. I have to follow him into town to sign some papers. That's work out the window for today. But I suppose it's not every day that one gets a present of $5 million and a couple of farms.
What are you going to do with the farm? You'll hand it back. That's what you'll do with it.
Are you for real? This farm is mine now. But do you know something? I don't want it. The memories I have of this place are bad ones. Shouting and roaring at each other, hardship and misery. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell the farm.
No, you can't. You can't do that.
Watch me. I will sell it and divide the money between the three of you. Equal shares. 1/3 each. Isn't that fair?
Thanks, Marie. That's brilliant.
If that's what you want to do, Marie, as long as you're happy with it.
Well, I'm not happy. This is Flint Farm. Has been for generations. And this yoke is going to throw it all away. I'm not going to allow this to happen. You mark my words. You won't get away with this.
Oh, Marie, be careful. He's capable of doing anything.
Don't worry, ma'am. Tom will mind me. And sure, when the farm is sold, what can he do? And he will have his share. But what about you, ma'am? What are you going to do? Where are you going to stay? You can't stay here.
Oh, thanks, Marie. I don't know what I'm going to do. My head is all over the place. I'll stay here tonight anyway.
Why don't you come and stay with Tom and I for a while until you get something organised? I'm going to get Uncle Paddy's place fixed up and live there, and you can have a room there for as long as you want to.
I know.
OK, ma'am. Listen, I better be going. William will be waiting for me in town. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
If you're going into town, do you mind if I get a lift?
Sure, Joe. Come on.
Bye, ma'am. Mind yourself, won't you?
I will, son. You mind yourself too.
If William thinks he can get away with this, there's another thing coming. I'll get whatever is left when he dies. Oh, he'll make sure there's nothing to get. And he's going back to America tomorrow. What if he didn't live to go back? The 16.5 million would be mine. And I could buy the farm back from that yoke of a Marie. And she'd have to give me back a third of it. That'd be rich. Now, I'll find him in town. That won't be hard. Tell him I want to talk to him. Get him back here and shoot the bugger. Yes. Out in the yard, no witnesses. We had a row. The gun went off. Accidental death. I might get done for manslaughter. What have I to lose? I'll leave the gun outside. Have it handy. Are you still here?
Yes. But I won't be here for very much longer.
The sooner I see the back of you, the better. Isn't it a pity that William isn't taking you back to America with him? And you could be together forever and ever. Maybe I could arrange that. Wouldn't you like that?
What do you mean, arrange that? Arrange what?
That William and yourself could be together forever. Now you'd like that, wouldn't you?
Fintan Flynn, you won't be arranging anything anymore. Oh my God, no! Oh, Fintan Flynn, you won't be arranging anything anymore. What could I do?